Greetings, everybody. How are you tonight? Can everybody hear me okay? Sound good on the sides? Doing good. All right, excellent. Thanks to our communication staff for the setup here and our park staff for the setup. My name is Jeff Fruin. I'm the city manager here at the City of Iowa City. And again, just want to say thanks for coming out under the tough conditions tonight. Means a lot to see you all out here. Most important thing tonight, I want you to be safe. If you need water, let us know. We've got staff that'll be walking. You can raise your hand. We'll come talk to you. If you need water or you need anything else, please let us know, and we'll do our best to make sure you're taken care of tonight. So again, thanks. Look forward to some really productive discussions here tonight. I want to give you just a little background first. The Iowa City Police Department has 84 officers and over 100 employees, including our civilian staff. And in 2009, we responded to 77,000 calls for service in the community. We have a talented and caring staff who work very hard at the mission, which is for us to empower victims of crime and to build or strengthen our community policing through building relationships in the community. And it's events like this that can help us further that goal. Our next police chief is going to be charged with accelerating that effort, and I don't say accelerating lightly. We've heard the calls that needs to be accelerated quickly, and we are committed to continuing our efforts to trying to build those relationships and making sure that we're offering policing services that match the values of our community. So you didn't come here tonight to hear me speak. What we're going to do tonight is I'm going to turn it over to each of our three finalists. They're each going to have 5 to 10 minutes for an opening remark. And then after all three candidates have addressed the crowd, they are going to spread out and they're going to come to you one by one. So they'll work their way through. We really appreciate your patience with that. We know this isn't a typical type of setup, but this is the best way that we could come up with to give you a chance to interact with them directly. And I felt very strongly that opportunity needed to take place in person. So we're going to go alphabetical order, which admittedly challenged me a little bit because they all start with L as the last name. So I had to do some deep thinking on this one. But we are starting with Jason Lando, who's a commander in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So Jason, you want to come up?
Thank you. Thanks very much for having me here today. I spent a few days in the city. Beautiful city. I absolutely love it. I'll just give you a real quick little bit of background about me, and then I look forward to meeting you individually. So, again, my name is Jason Lando. I'm the guy from Pittsburgh, if you've been Googling. Not Philadelphia, but anyways. Been a Pittsburgh police officer for 20 years. I just completed my 20th year. And for 6 of those years, I've been a commander in the department, worked my way up through the ranks. And for the first 5 years that I was a commander, I worked at one of our precincts. We have 6 precincts in the city. We call them zones. And I worked in the Zone 5 police station, which had a long history of mistrust between police and community. All of our high-profile incidents between police and the public have happened in that zone. And so when I went there, I worked there when I was younger, as an officer and as a sergeant and as a lieutenant, and I just saw some of the interactions between the police and the public, and I said to myself, if I ever had the chance to go back there as the commander, as the person in charge, I was going to work to kind of change the dynamic between police and community. So for my first 5 years as a commander, I was in Zone 5, and we really worked very intentionally in partnership with the community to change the way police and public interacted in a way that supported the public, the community, and also supported our officers when they did the right thing and holding officers accountable when they didn't do the right thing. So over the course of 5 years, we were able to build some really innovative programs. We brought down citizen complaints against officers. We saw a decrease in crime in almost every category, and it really just the culture between the police and the community changed significantly. We were recognized locally and actually nationally as well for some of the innovative efforts that we did. So when I saw the opening here in Iowa City and I read up on the department, and I realized it would be a department that was kind of open to that progressive mindset. I just thought it would be a really good fit, and so far it's been a wonderful experience being here. But I really look forward to meeting everyone kind of on a more personal level and getting to chat rather than standing up here and talking. So I just wanted to just do a quick introduction, and I look forward to chatting with you all in a little while. So thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Next up is Dustin Liston. He's a lieutenant with El Paso Police Department in Texas.
Hi there. As Jeff said, I'm Dustin Liston. I'm currently from El Paso, Texas, but I was born and raised in Iowa. I was born in Pocahontas, Iowa, and grew up in Eldora, Iowa. In 1993, I came to Iowa City, enrolled in the University of Iowa, and I graduated in 97. In 1996, I did an internship with the Iowa City Police Department. It was my first formal experience with law enforcement, and I was so impressed with the officers and the way they conducted themselves and the way they treated me. So after I graduated, I went to join my brother in El Paso, Texas. He tried to get hired on a small-town police department in Iowa for many years and was unable to get a job. He moved down to El Paso with his wife and immediately got on the El Paso Police Department. So when I was graduating college, he invited me to go down there and join him. I started the academy immediately after graduating from the University of Iowa, and that's where I've been ever since. I'm currently lieutenant in charge. I'm the director of the El Paso Fusion Center, and what a fusion center is a multi-agency intelligence unit. We work with all local, federal, state, tribal law enforcement, both sworn and unsworn, and we gather intelligence and we serve the greater West Texas area and southern New Mexico. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Texas. El Paso is in Texas, but just barely. It's on the farther and western tip. So if I were to drive to Houston, it would take me about 10 hours. If I were to drive to Phoenix, it would take me 6. So we are in Texas, but just barely. We're also on the border of Mexico, immediately on the border. So we have to deal with a lot of challenges that come with immigration, and I know we have some challenges in Iowa City. But the one thing I want to express to you guys tonight is I haven't been looking for a chief of police job. I was looking for this job. This is the place I want to be. This is my community. My parents still live in Eldora. They'll be coming tomorrow to visit me. I wanted to get back to Iowa. I'm not looking to go to any other community. I want to come to this community. So if it doesn't work out for me today, I'll be happy to stay in El Paso, but this is a place I want to be, and I feel like that's important, that you want someone who has community ties. I used to teach swimming lessons at that pool right there. I've taught swimming lessons at the Lee Recreation Center, and I used to lifeguard at the city pool. So I'm familiar with the community. I love the community. My wife is standing behind me. She's a native El Pasoan, and my wife's name is Adriana. My son is Jake. My daughter is Olivia. They think they're from Iowa. She obviously doesn't, but my kids do because they're brought up around Hawkeye football, and my daughter famously used to say she was from Iowa, even though she hadn't been there until she was 3. So I'm ready to work with the community, and I think that's the most important thing we can do in today's society. A lot of people have felt like they've no longer had a voice in what law enforcement does, and without legitimacy, we cannot do our job. If there's not that mutual trust and respect, we cannot do what we do. So I'm encouraged to see the turnout on a muggy day like today, and I want to make sure it's worth your while that your voices are heard. And I guarantee you that if I'm the next chief of police, your voices will be heard with me. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dustin. And next up is Chief Jeremy Logan from Oelwein, Iowa.
Good evening. I appreciate everyone coming out. It's a very important decision the city's about to make, and you taking the time to talk to each candidate is very special because it means that the community is involved and they want to provide input into that. I've been in law enforcement for over 28 years. 23 years of that has been in leadership roles, with 18 of those as a police chief. I can echo Lieutenant Liston's remarks about where do I want to go, where do I want to be. I've showed my dedication to my community by staying there for 18 years. When the opportunity for Iowa City came up, I felt that this was the opportunity that I needed to seek and try to come down into this community and accept the new challenges that come with law enforcement in today's world. I've been the Iowa Police Chiefs Association president for 7 years. I just ended that term here a year ago. And in addition to that, in 2017 received the Leaders in Community Policing Award from the International Association of Chiefs of Police. That award is given to one community each year throughout the world. And our community received that because of our efforts to try to engage with the citizens and the community members and try to engage with all levels of the community. And we believe we've done a good job of that, and that was acknowledged by that award. In 2019, I received the Iowa Law Enforcement Executive of the Year Award, and I was honored to receive that. But most importantly to me is just recently in June of this year, I was appointed to co-chair the Law Enforcement Vision for Equality Task Force, which is a partnership between the Iowa Police Chiefs Association and the NAACP of the Iowa-Nebraska chapter. And what the mission for that, the goal for that is to bridge gaps of communication between the minority communities and law enforcement, and also to build trusting relationships in the process. As we move forward with the group and continuing to talk, we've met a couple times, then we will be providing some recommendations and guidelines for potential police reform throughout the state. And we believe that's important, and the first couple meetings have been very productive, and we've come a long way with just getting everybody comfortable with each other. What you'll see from me as a chief, that I'm going to work alongside the staff. It's very important. You know, you can to say lead by example. It's a cliche, but it's not for me. It's a way of doing business. So you'll see me doing the administrative roles that I need to do, but then you'll also see me out there directing traffic with them while they're at an accident scene or covering an event, because it's important to work alongside your staff to understand and listen to their needs in order to help them with the items and the equipment and the policies that they need to perform their job. In the times of considered police change, it's very important to understand and recognize that the way we're doing business is not necessarily the way that the society is wanting us to do business. Now, it's important for us to know that there are many good officers out there doing a great job, but there are areas that we can improve. But that's with everything. So if we're not looking to improve, then we're standing still and we're falling behind. And so I believe in our community and that I'm presently in right now, we've been progressive in trying to accomplish those things. Transparency has been key in that community. We've been using body cameras in our community since 2006. That's 14 years ago. We were the first community in the state of Iowa, the first police department to utilize body cameras. And the reason for that was to build that transparency and build that trust, and it's worked for us. I can talk forever, but the most important thing to do is to have conversations with you, to listen to your questions. And so I think it's time for us to get out and interact. And please be sure that you ask us those hard questions, because that's what we're here for. You need to know what our positions are and where we stand, and we need to be able to respond to that. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Can I have Ashley and Rachel just kind of stand and wave their hands over there? Ashley and Rachel joined me in the city manager's office here in Iowa City. They have the feedback forms. Most of you hopefully have them. It's just a page long. You can fill them out here. You can take them home and fill them out. There's also a link in which you can provide feedback, whatever you're most comfortable with. But we'd love to hear from you. We're not going to be listening into all those conversations, so we really need to know what your takeaways from tonight are. So I want to talk about the process going forward, too, so you all understand how this appointment is made. It is my duty as city manager to make an appointment to the position of police chief. That appointment must be confirmed by both the Civil Service Commission, which is a council-appointed commission, and the City Council. That is a unique requirement to both the police chief and fire chief in Iowa City. So in terms of engagement opportunities going forward, you not only have the chance to help me make my decision, but you have the chance to communicate with both the Civil Service Commission and the City Council about your views on my recommendation, and I encourage you to do that. if you have any questions about how to do that, please flag me down, and I'm happy to talk with you. So I'll ask the candidates to kind of spread out and don't start all on the same side, but just start to make your way through the crowd. And again, if anybody needs anything in the crowd, water, pens, feedback forms, raise your hand. The three of us will be looking for you, and we'll do our best to take care of you tonight. Thank you.